Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about an upcoming change in pattern for the United States and the effect on your weather that could come with it. I know I haven't posted an actual weather forecast in a while, and by that I mean I have mostly done climatology forecasts, but that's really because the pattern across the U.S. has been stagnant, but now that we're getting into winter, there's going to be a lot of changes, and I'm still going to make climatology forecasts, but I'm going to go to like short-term weather forecasts as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start with the GFS. We're going to look at the jet stream here. And if we move a little bit forward, we see there isn't really any dips in the jet stream at the moment. We see it's mostly staying more north. But that's going to change soon if we move a little bit further. So here, let's look here. To hour 30, we do see something off the coast of California right here. And really what that's going to do is that's going to move into the United States potentially and cause and help with that pattern change. So as we move along here, we do see it does move into the United States, and we can see now a dip in the jet stream, and that is mainly going to cause more stormy and rainy conditions, as you'll see here in a second, for much of the southern United States. As you know, a less wavy jet stream, you might call it, that stays more north, keeps a lot of the stormy and rainy weather away from the southern United States. So as we move here, we do see a pretty good dip across into Texas and into Louisiana, the Arla-Tex region. And really, that's going to bring rainier weather potentially to these southern states, at least for a bit. Now, a couple days ago, this had a much more, it looked stronger, like we could see some severe weather. And I didn't want to post a couple days ago because I was still uncertain on it. But now we do see that there is a pretty significant dip. There could be some isolated severe weather in this. We'll look at that in a second. But yeah, that dip is going to go across the southern United States. And we see here it goes down into the Gulf of Mexico. So a pretty big dip in the jet stream. And this dip is definitely now going to cause, it's going to reach the Gulf states and start affecting them with stormier weather. And that could cause a pretty big low pressure system that's going to affect much of the central and eastern United States. And then it goes back to not as wavy. Now we're definitely still seeing much. It's more south now. It was originally about up here. Now it's a little more south, so still a more active pattern, but yeah, not really a dip anymore. But the GFS shows soon after that. Now, of course, we're getting far out, so take this apart with a grain of salt. But we are definitely seeing, again, down into Texas, down here. We see in the Texas Panhandle, and basically this dip is what it's going to do is, again, like what I just said, it's going to cause more stormier weather. For the southern United States, and it could cause another big low pressure system. And really, the GFS just shows constant dips now. Now, we haven't had an active pattern for the southeast in quite a while because it's fall, and also for later summer. We don't really see as much for summer and fall in the southern United States. But now, as we're getting into December, as you can see up here, Friday, December 1st, and late November, much more dips. And we're gonna go back to the beginning of the run here, and I'll show you guys what that means. So if we're gonna go to the we're gonna look at the precipitation here, and really around that first dip, a couple days out, we do see a low pressure system starting to form across, starting to take place around Oklahoma and Kansas right here, 1,005 millibars, and this is going to definitely gain strength as we head towards, as it moves more east, I meant to say. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my pen here, but whatever. Anyway, yep, there it is. Anyway, so as that moves more east, like I said, it's going to gain a lot of strength, and we could see some isolated severe weather around the 20th of November across the Arla-Tex region, and as this moves more east, after severe weather in the Arla-Tex region, we could see some more severe weather in the Gulf Coast states. So yeah, and then not just severe weather, but just rain and flooding in general. Flooding for the places that aren't already in a drought, because as you know, we're having a low pressure affecting the Gulf Coast right now, and they're getting beneficial rainfall, so it's not really flooding because they were in a drought. But yeah, we do see, like I said, a large system that could affect much of the central and southern United States. So as we can see here, this massive low pressure system, 997 millibars, and basically what that is going to do is, here, I'm going to move that there, so the pen hopefully will work better. Yep, there we go. So 997 millibars, and we see rain all the way from the Midwest down to into the Gulf. Now, any severe weather chances will be much lower now, but still heavy rain across the Gulf, and then just widespread rainfall into the Northeast and Midwest. And then we could see some freezing rain. This is actually showing, and some heavy snow conditions into the New England, basically, in that general region. And yeah, what that's going to do is cause icy conditions, obviously, with the freezing rain, and it will be pretty dangerous if this does take effect. So hopefully it is not right. I mean, unless you want that kind of snow and freezing rain, then yeah. But it's going to definitely cause some dangerous conditions, especially that we do also see some sleet up there towards New Hampshire and Vermont. Again, sorry for the pen troubles if you keep seeing this thing right here moving. Anyway, if you don't, whatever. Moving on, we do see another low pressure system as this one moves out, and again, we could definitely see some heavy rain for the New England into Quebec and Ontario, and snow. So we'll go to the totals here in a second after we cover these other low pressure systems. But we do see the other low pressure system with a pretty strong northern side, as you can see, towards Kansas and Missouri. We could see some pretty heavy snow there, and then freezing rain in the middle, and then rain on the southern side. So as that moves along, we could see some snow into the southern Midwest, and then we just have this another huge system that could cause a lot of snow across the Midwest. We do see here a pretty big amount of snow, and then we do have rain that could cause maybe some flooding in some of those more moist areas. And then that's going to move off the coast and could bring snow into around Pennsylvania. And then, again, this is pretty far out, but if this were to happen, we do see a pretty big system starting to form with that third dip in the mountains, and then this system moving into the southeast, obviously bringing and eastern United States, bringing a more active pattern. So in terms of severe weather, which we're going to go to Cape here now, and then we're going to go to the European model. In terms of that first system, we're not really seeing too much Cape until around hour 108. So we could see up to 1,200 Cape, maybe even up to 1,500 Cape, which is going to possibly cause some isolated, maybe even scattered severe weather in Texas and the Arla-Tex region, which is Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. And then as we move along, we could see more severe weather into the southeast. We do see up to 1,700, maybe in isolated amounts of 1,800 Cape, and that could cause some severe weather. And the GFS is actually showing even more instability into Florida and Georgia. So for this entire region here, we could see some kind of severe weather. And even then, it kind of starts to die down. But anywhere from Texas up to maybe Arkansas, east to to central Georgia, and the Florida Big Bend, we could see some kind of severe weather. And then we continue, and that second dip could cause some isolated severe weather on the Gulf Coast here. We do see here some Cape, but really nothing too bad if this were to happen, obviously. And then that third system, we do see actually something starting to form across Texas. So really what that's going to do is that is going to create some potential severe weather for Texas again. Because as you saw the first system, we saw some in this part of Texas, and it went into the southeast. And with this next system, we could see, obviously, some severe weather in Texas, and then into the southeast and Gulf Coast again, as this active pattern will bring more severe weather. Now on to rainfall and snowfall real quick. So we're just gonna go to snow total Kachira inches, and we're gonna see for that first system, let's not too much snow until it gets to New England, where we could see up to 12 inches of snow, over a foot in New England. So that's Maine, parts of northern New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. So that's something to watch for. And then the second system could bring over a foot into Missouri and snow in Kansas. And then that third system, while not as much, could bring a couple inches of snow into the Midwest and into western Pennsylvania. And then we just see this other system, obviously, widespread snow mounts starting to form across the mountains there. So obviously that could cause some, a lot of snow. So, and then the system's rainfall. So that first system, we could see in Arkansas, Oklahoma, up to 2 inches of snow. Into the Midwest, we could see upwards of an extra 1 inch. In New England and the Mid-Atlantic, we could see upwards of an extra 2 inches of snow. And then the second system won't bring as much rainfall, but widespread amounts of upwards of 1 inch. And then we don't know too much about that last system in terms of rainfall yet. And next, we're going to go to the European model. So let's do this real quick. Yeah, it's going to load. Okay, and we're going to go to 12Z, obviously, because 18Z only goes out to 90 hours. So, pretty much of a similar situation. Pretty stagnant pattern. We do kind of see a little dip here, which GFS does not really pick up on, but across the eastern United States. But that shouldn't really cause anything too crazy. And then we do see this other dip starting to form, and that's obviously going to head eastward. So, yeah, the dip across Texas into the southeast, and then, of course, that pulls northward. And then it kind of, the jet stream is obviously still more south, but no other major pattern changes after that. In terms of severe weather for the system, I don't think GFS kind of picks up on it as much in terms of how widespread the severe weather is. But yeah, we do see upwards of 1,500 Cape across eastern Texas into the Arlington region into Mississippi, but then it kind of calms down a lot more. In terms of, actually, let's look at the lightning flash right here. We're going to see potentially a lot of lightning, obviously. So really, Oklahoma, northern Texas, we can see, and then some thunderstorms into Florida there. So we definitely could see thunderstorms. Now, I can't guarantee anything, obviously, but I can't say with too much confidence about how the chances of you getting severe weather. But thunderstorms in general is a pretty good probability. And then for snowfall, there we go. Oops. Let's go back here. So in terms of snowfall, we're going to use a cheer ratio, obviously, like I did last time, because I believe it's more accurate. For that first system, we could see not as much snowfall, but not as much as GFS, but still a pretty good amount. Into Canada, but for the United States, we're not really going to be seeing as much. We could see some widespread upwards of 1 or 2 inches in the Midwest, but that's really it. And in terms of rainfall, not as much, definitely not as much, but yeah, a lot of rainfall across the eastern U.S., so upwards of maybe widespread 1 inch from that system. But most of the rainfall in the southeast here on the Gulf Coast is because of that current Gulf low. But basically, what we're gonna be seeing is a lot of rain, pattern change over the next couple days. As you see right now, as of November 14th, it's pretty dry across the United States, especially the central and eastern United States there. And then I'll show you the Gulf system. We can kind of see it there. And it has some circulation to it in the Gulf. Obviously not tropical, but yeah. Anyway, this pattern change is definitely going to be pretty significant, potentially. I'll keep you guys updated, but that's going to be it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.